يقال العثار العظام به
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I uploaded a video because I was figuring out the editing scene because I'm new to editing. Earlier on, my friend was helping me because he does editing, but I figured like sometimes you have to do. I mean, I did give him all the ideas and like what I want, but he mostly just gathered the videos and put it together, but the song and everything and all the like creativity was from his side, so thank you, Jackson. But I wanted to try it on my own because sometimes you have to do things on your own to get like what you're feeling right while you're filming to the audience, and it was getting hard to communicate. But I might go back to him doing it for me because I can save that much time. But I still wanted to give it a shot by myself. So that was one reason for the lag. And even after this video, I will still take a break because I'm working on one of my papers. And after we moved, after we finished our holiday in India, we came back and we had a lot of things to do. And so I will be back on track, and there'll be like a lot of exciting videos coming up with the engagement and our family trip. And so don't miss on those if you're interested in watching. But I will still like be taking a break. The reason I'm putting this video up is because it's done time, so I didn't want to put it later like I usually do. So this is like just a random idea that I got. I've never fasted, but I've always been to a lot of like iftaris, and not series because you have to wake up early in the morning for that, but a lot of iftars growing up. So it all started when like I had a nanny who was Muslim. So for the longest time, I think she was at home like taking care of me because both my parents were working. And till date, like she even came for our wedding, and till date we're connected. We do video calls sometimes, and I even call her Didi, which means like elder sister, because she was not very old. Like she was not married. She was just a very like in her 20s or something when she was taking care of me as a nanny. So she would like technically babysit me. And sometimes because I was the only kid growing up, so she would even like stay back sometimes if I wanted her to, because I didn't have anyone, and like she was like my elder sister. So those of you who know me mostly will know who I'm talking about. So yeah, so a lot of things like from she was still learning the Quran at that time. So it's not like Islam that I was influenced by, but still like just by her like her personality, right? Even though she wasn't like formally educated, just her personality and things I picked up from her at a young age may be the reason of like her upbringing, or like how her parents brought her up through maybe the values of Islam. So even though she hadn't read the Quran and wasn't technically aware, basically I was influenced that way from the start, from childhood. There was this funny story which I want to share. Like my parents even talk about it now. Like, so the time when the prayer, the azan sound comes right at like intervals, so I would see her as a kid like putting like a dupatta or like a parda on her head during the azan time. And as a kid I wouldn't understand, but like when she would go back, like her shift would end, not shift, but like she would go back home at like in the evening when my parents would return back from work. So that time she wasn't there. So when I was with my parents, there's like an azan at 8 p.m. also, right? So she's not there, but like I kind of like just caught it from her that when that sound comes, the prayer sound, you have to put something on your head. So I would run around the house looking for some cloth to put on my head. And once when I was doing that, I found like one of my underwears lying like around. It was, and I took that and put it on my head. So that was an incident. So like from childhood I've always been like exposed to Islam, and even though I was my parents are Hindu and I've been brought up with Hindu traditions, and then also my really close childhood friends and neighbors and family friends were also Muslims. They practiced Islam, and so every Ramadan, like in the evenings we would go to their house, and I know how excited I was to eat the iftar, because there was such a like big spread and like yummy snacks and fruits and sweets, and it was so balanced and everything at their home. And I would just not think of how they like did the fasting the whole day and survived and like without a drop of water. And they didn't like were not in a hurry to eat, but I was like seeing all of that always in a hurry. So because I always was a foodie, so I always like trying new recipes and new traditions and things. So that was another the second influence of like Islam on me. After that, like I've had friends who were Muslims or knew Islam, and I used to read a lot of books on like historical fiction, in the historical fiction genre. So I like, I am not religious, but I like religion studies, and I like how people have come up with these traditions, be it any religion, and like learning about different like culture and everything. And Islam like has been like since childhood, and also because I also have this thing towards like like this curiosity towards Middle Eastern culture, food, and like even the places there. And so yeah, so that's how I've not read the Quran and all, and I don't expect to anytime soon. But I really like this thing is very important. I really like their some of their teachings, like giving alms to the poor. I think all of us study that in like history or something like that, or in school. Like giving alms to the poor is so basic, and like I don't know if no religion really like tells you on the face like that's something you have to do. And I've not seen any other if anyone else like apart from Muslims do it very like staunchly, or like I don't know if that's the right word, do it very like religiously. Ironically, religiously, I've not seen anyone like actually giving alms to the poor apart from Muslims, especially in my area in Bangalore, where I'm from, during Ramadan. And even if it's not Ramadan, the way they treat like someone who's needy is quite different. And yeah, sharing. So a lot of like my neighbors also were Muslims, and the way they shared things, like be it food or just the brotherhood amongst them, and the cleanliness, like I can't even begin. Like I love how most of their homes are so like clean. And I'm not, I don't want to generalize, but these are my observations. Like, and I'm not okay with a lot of like recent radical thoughts of like some Islam practitioners. Like obviously not okay with those, but majority I feel like it still is a religion that like the world can learn from if they want to, like some things, like some basic things. And that kind of stayed with me. So apart from giving alms to the poor and their brotherhood, and also the fact that from my personal observations, their homes, they don't have a lot of like maximalist things. Like the decor is usually minimalistic, at least because I feel like their religion doesn't like is comes from like one superior being, rather than like say Hinduism, where a lot of elements are worshipped. So and they don't believe in idols, so a lot of like that minimalism and less decor, less rituals as well. Yeah, less rituals. Apart from all of this, I feel like I have not, again, not read about this, but I feel like there um the fact that Islam like originated from Middle East, right? Where probably those days, I mean, even to date, it's largely a desert, or like a place of less productivity, like less productivity in terms of like the environment. I don't know if I'm saying this right, like in terms of like tropics where there's a lot of abundance. Like I feel Islam originated from a place with really less um produce, less resources, and no abundance at all in terms of like good climate or good food and resources. So I feel like it kind of originated also from pain. Like a lot of the writings I have, again, not read, but my observations is like a lot of the things that they say and practices, it comes from pain. I'm sure there's like research on this, but I feel like I'm like kind of excited that I found this out like through just my personal tryst with being with people who practice Islam, or who have read the Quran, or who are Muslim, that it comes from a lot of pain. And maybe it's because it kind of originated from nothing, right? Like how to survive in like a desert landscape without food, with minimal stuff, and how to first not be greedy and share it with others as well, and think about others pain. It's a lot of it is rooted from that, like from. And so the way their teachings or their things, the original teachings, right? It comes from that. And even now, unfortunately, even now to date, the regions that have the majority of Muslims, again, personal point of view, is that it is still in regions which are still less abundant in terms of resources, and also are still in pain. The current war, and I really regret that, and I feel really like I feel like once since this war has begun, it's just been such a tough place for the for all of us, be it any like parts of the world we feel. And it's not just the current like the war I'm talking about, but it's also like within India, like the treatment that is given to people, say in Kashmir. And I don't want to like, because I do have to do a lot of research on that and like talk about, but this is a different video. But still, what I'm kind of pointing out to is that it not only originated in a place of like pain and less abundance and like hardship, but it's still where it still is, where the majority of Muslims are, the place. It's still, if you notice, it's still geographically less fortunate. Like say Kashmir, like it's like very harsh, right? The climate and the kind of resources so different from the mainland, and even like Middle East and those regions, and parts in Africa. It still is wherever the majority of Muslims are. It's still so there. So maybe their importance or priority in life is to have empathy. So like I like that. I like, because for all the personal pain or hardships I have gone through in life, so kind of listening to songs like that in Islam or in Arabic kind of has soothed into me. And from my personal observations and like experiences with such people, I have imbibed those things from them. And I more than imbibe, I guess I have not, but I feel like they're always kind of have a sense of calm in them, and they're always empathetic and they're not very like domineering, and very like kind of level-headed people, like as opposed to what some people think about them, as opposed to what media shows about them and like thinks about terrorism. Because terrorism, the root cause of terrorism isn't the fact that it comes from like Islamic nations. It actually comes from the fact that they were deprived of good education, good resources, good upbringing, and good like they were deprived of rights and freedom, which probably led them to just the like dark spaces of their religion, which probably they feel like terrorism is the answer to, which is, I am obviously not for like, but then the mainstream media and what general people think about Islam is that. But for me, and from my personal observations, it's the plain opposite, that I feel like they're very empathetic, level-headed, calm people. And I have been fortunate to meet many of most of my friends, like I'm sure all of you guys, right, have very like secular friend groups. And I've had fortunately a lot of like diverse friend groups, and I've a lot of them like I've been able to understand their culture from like the Islam point of view. And it's not just the food, brotherhood, giving up to the poor, or the things that I said, but it's the fact that I realize that it comes from this kind of pain. And so they value in giving to others and understanding pain, friends, and it kind of reflects. And another thing is, my father's native place is in the northern part of Kerala. So a lot of the neighbors and were all Muslims. In Malappuram. And initially my father's home was in Irimblium. I remember going there as a kid, and my grandmom used to take us to this neighbor's house in Irimblium who were Muslims. And just that warmth, I still remember it. The fact that I'm saying it right is testimony to that. And not just in Irimblium, but in Valanjeri, which is in Malappuram, also a lot of neighborhood, even now, like a lot of Muslims there. So you just kind of feel it and imbibe from that. And like my grandmom's taste in like colors, in like clothing, or kind of like how the Muslim community would like wear those colors. So I was influenced from that part as well, not just the friends, and but also like from where I spent my childhood. So yeah, these are the things I just wanted to add in. And I don't know if it's right. Like I need to like look if it's, because it's so distinct, their teachings, because it comes from, so the origin really matters, right, in the way the teachings form, I guess. Yeah. The fasting, I've never fasted unless and until you randomly skip some breakfast on some days, right, or some dinners randomly. So apart from those kind of like unbalanced meals that I've had throughout the day, I've never fasted. In like my culture, some days like on Ekadashi and some other days, I guess you fast, but not you fast on like certain types of food. I guess they don't have rice and they have like other things like millets or something like that. But I haven't done that as well because I have not been told much about the importance of that. With like fasting during Ramadan, I know how it like is to really like intermittent fasting is good. Maybe that's the science part of like the bodily part of it, but the other part is probably like to realize like how it feels to not have every like material thing in the world and like appreciate small things like food and water, and also how to control your mind, right? Because mostly you're just like so with food. Maybe those are the things that I see with fasting, like the benefits, like, and no one told me I kind of could see. So that's one reason I wanted to try out. And also yeah, so I have no idea, and I'm going to like, so Devan is also going to try fasting with me. Ale,
Yeah.
have you ever
Yeah, I kind of did today.
yeah, cause he
Yeah, I had like a lot of meetings since 8 o'clock.
mm,
So I didn't eat anything. You just gave me one date before leaving.
yeah, even I didn't eat anything because I had to, usually he drops me in the morning some days, but I had to take the I had to go on my own because you were in a meeting, right? So
Yeah.
we both didn't have, we just had raisins and one banana.
Right, I just had one raisin. Sorry, 3 raisins and one date.
Mm.
And then the next meal I had was around 2 o'clock, right?
Hmm.
When you gave me some food. So yeah,
So apart from today,
Yeah.
I mean these like meal missing things, you have not fasted, right?
no, I've never done
Yeah,
it.
I don't think guys fast also in our side. I've not seen guys doing Ekadashi. Do guys do Ekadashi fasting or not?
I don't know.
I've only
not
seen-
heard anyone,
Yeah.
any guy saying about it.
Yeah, I've not. So it's going to be interesting. This time we can't even have the raisins or water.
Yeah, we can. So, yeah.
So so let me first, I have to first search because you have to wake up in the morning before sunrise, right? Yeah, before sunrise, and then eat something and then fast until sunset. I think
Yeah.
that's the tradition. Or yeah,
I
that's
wish we were in Europe. Then,
yeah.
no, but then sunset and
So I have my journal here that I just got yesterday, but I'm so excited to. I used a journal, but I stopped in between. So first, I want to know when is the Sahari time. That is when we should wake up, right? So I'm going to quickly search for that. And the time varies like depending on your location, right? So I need to be sure. Oh, there's a Morgantown Ramadan thing. Calendar changes every year, yeah. So how do you check the next date? Okay. So we're going to do 7th March. So okay, it's 5:57 a.m. the Sahari, and the iftar time is 6:48 p.m. So how many hours you're fasting? 5:57 and 6:48.
Why?
5:57 and 6:48.
Almost like 13 hours.
13 hours. 13 hours, no water. Food is still fine. Food is also not. Never really thought about it. Okay.
Tryst time would be different, right?
Yeah. Sunset and sun. Yeah.
Parts of the world.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's all the research I'm going to do for this little intro. One more thing I wanted to know is, so if 5:57 is the Sahari time, like should you be done eating or should you start eating?
I think it should be done by then.
Yeah, I think it should be done. So I'm going to just find that out also.
I have some water. Let me drink.
Yeah. You have till tomorrow.
Can you also make aloo and olive?
Aloo and oli. will kill us if we don't give them food. Uh, okay, so you have to finish eating your meal before Sahri. So 5:57, if it is, then we need to wake up at least 5:15, 5 o'clock tomorrow. And I chose a Friday for this because I usually work from home on Fridays, so I won't be that tired. But I know a lot of people who work, and so I just wanted to say that um, it's a huge thing. And I guess, and a lot of times, like people associated Ramadan with like, oh, like really yummy snacks and food, but it's a lot more than food. That's the whole point, right? Fasting. But like in India, especially in Bangalore, there's not just in Bangalore, but there are like these food streets by restaurants and who come out during like this Ramadan time to like, and that's business like anything else. But like core values are like really more than just food. Is I just wanted to say that. And I am not, I don't want to disrespect anyone, and I guess no one, like I know, because I know how, at least the Muslims I know, they're very like, they love when other people like try to learn about their culture. So I do, but still I just don't, I want to say that I'm not disrespecting if I've done any, said anything that doesn't make sense. Please, um um you know let me know what, in the comments, if there's anything that I should know, because I'm interested to know. And like, please pardon me if anything is doesn't make sense. But yeah, and another, yeah, you just basically have to drink a lot of water at 5:15 a.m. when we wake up, because the whole day we're not gonna, and we need to take a slow digesting meal, I guess. So maybe oats, and avoid salty, spicy, sugary foods so that you prevent thirst. And then Sairi time, like we can I don't know if we won't be continuing because of like our work schedules. And because another thing I realize is you need to have, if you have like a big family and people, it's fun to do this. But these days, like, everyone's so isolated, so I guess we won't be continuing. I'm just like predicting, unless it has like really good health benefits for us or something like that. But I'll keep you guys updated, and I will show you, and I will see you later. Hi guys, so change of plans, because when I made the intro clip, we were supposed to wake up the next day at 5:57 in order to start. I mean, start eat something. But the day I made it, we slept. I didn't sleep that late. It was just 11 p.m. But I had a lot of work, so I was not 11. It was almost 1 actually in the midnight. So waking up at 5, we did keep an alarm and we woke up, but it's not like we weren't hungry. We were so tired. And that's one thing I realized, that when you think about like iftar or Ramadan, you always think about like good food, but it's a lot of effort. And waking up early requires you to be like the previous day also like well rested, and so everything is really like, you need to be in a good routine. So that's one thing we don't realize. So like, that's tough. So, and apart from that, I'd also put on my Instagram like if anyone had any suggestions, and a lot of my friends sent me amazing suggestions. So I also wanted to incorporate that. So I felt like doing it one day later would be better. So this is one day later. So I just wanted to say like, thank you guys for like sending me the suggestions. Mostly it was to eat dates, which I love. I love dates, so I even now we had dates, so I will eat dates. And because it has fiber, and it's like it keeps you good with like good for the day, I think. And stay hydrated. That's tough because it's not just on the day that you can drink 3 liters of water. It's a whole routine, right? It should be hydrated throughout, and I haven't been great with hydration the past couple of, because it's cold here, so I don't feel thirsty. nor am I sweating much. So that's one problem, but thank you for that. And also to try to have a hydrating suhoor or sehri and like Greek yogurt and chia seed, that I will do now. And then another thing, I really liked one other suggestion I got about this dish which I never knew existed, and it's made with barley. And when I saw that, I was like, I have barley at home, but I've never opened the packet. Barley, yeah, barley, because I have barley because two times when I went to India, I got a UTI, and um, like if you have barley water, it's good for your UTI. I've heard like cranberry and all that. So I bought barley, but I never opened it. But when I saw the recipe that my friends sent, apparently it's a Ramadan recipe, so, and it has barley. So I'm so excited, and it's called a very interesting name. I never knew it existed. So doing all of this really like helps. It's called talbina. Talbina. And apparently it was recommended by the Prophet. So, because it has a lot of health benefits. So, I am really gonna try this barley thing, for which I need to keep things soaked. So, I was just gonna do that. Thank you guys for these suggestions. So, that's one thing you need to consider. It's not just on the day, right? You need to have like a well balanced routine, rested, hydration throughout the week in order to do this and wake up on time. So, it's a lot of discipline and commitment to your health and mental health, physical health, I think, for Ramadan. And 1 month, it's just not easy, it's not a joke. I felt like, okay, it's just like intermittent fasting. It is intermittent fasting, but it involves a lot more discipline in terms of waking up at a particular time and following things. I'm not doing the prayer thing and everything, but because I know that's more important and, all that, but I do have it in my heart, and I know like I imbibe things from different religions. That's what I want to, like, because I don't follow any one particular religion and be like, oh, against any other. I just like learning things. So what did I come here? The kitchen. Oh yeah, to soak chia seeds. So I'm gonna do that with you guys. So look at this is the barley packet that I bought and I never used. I filled it here. So I'm gonna soak this. And we also have chia seeds. So this is my prep for the previous night. It's like 9:34 p.m. and we're going to sleep in a while, in like say 1 hour max, 1 or 2 hours max, and then get up.